an introduction to the spiritual manifestations of the Great Mother and a story of her rule as a powerful order of matriarchs. The Typhonian, Oscidian, and Draconian created the oldest worship system in the world. Their tradition gave homage to the Great Mother and her son. The Great Mother, being the triple blackness of space, gives birth to her son out of the south gate, as is seen on the iconic zodiac of Dendera. She is mother of the all, in a spear that is held up in the four corners by the goddess Isis. The ancients also worshipped Sut-Typhon, Sut meaning the Sirius star system, and Typhon meaning the triple blackness of space in Draco, where we get the original concept of the word draconian. This world came into being from several worlds. The primal world was the realm of the Great Mother. In the beginning, it was all one force. The hippopotamus goddess gives birth to 7 stars. First star was called Sirius. One of their sisters was called Sophia. She went off and had a child by herself. That child was halfway created. He then comes to barricade himself off from a small part of the universe, locking man into time of the cosmic clock action and its planetary spheres. Sophia, recognizing the works he had done as his creation, knew he was not fully aligned to channel these energies from the source. What he created was a universe with physical beings declaring, "Now I am God, and I am a jealous God, and you should have no gods above me." His mother answered him, saying, "Don't lie, there is a God above you, and he lives on earth." The mother is always in a state of being, while the father is the one that will do. Their ultimate initiation was the journey of the hero. On his last and final stage of the journey, the hero must pass through the realm of the great goddess to find sovereignty for land and for the universe. This sovereignty is to find out the mysteries of the feminine energy of himself. For I am separated for the Lord's sake, so I can get to know myself. Romans 9:3. When the ancient beings from Amun created their similar worship system, as the head authors of that time, they prescribed the knowledge of the mother to be evil, that of the devil, and called the great whore of Babylon. She was vilified all up until now in the Bible. Yet they forget that they themselves tell you that Eve was the master of Adam. The words of these ancient texts are found in the Apocalypse of Adam, dug up as part as the Nag Hammadi Library in 1945 in Ethiopia, and it reads as follows: "The revelation which Adam taught his son Seth in the 700th year, saying, Listen to my words, my son Seth. When God had created me out of the earth, along with Eve, your mother, I went about with her in a glory which she had seen in the eon from which we had come forth. She taught me a word of knowledge of the eternal God, and we resembled the great eternal angels. For we were higher than the God who had created us, and the powers with him, whom we did not know. Then God, the ruler of the eons and the powers, divided us in wrath. Then we became 2 eons, and the glory in our hearts left us, me and your mother Eve, along with the first knowledge that breathed within us. After those days, the eternal knowledge of the God of truth withdrew from me and your mother Eve, Since that time, we learned about dead things like men. Then we recognized the God who had created us, for we were not strangers to his powers, and we served him in fear and slavery. And after these things, we became darkened in our hearts. Now I slept in the thought of my heart. And when we search for more powerful manifestations, we see in the African woman as the only woman in the world whose ancient mothers were not born under the yoke of the patriarchy. During ancient times and for the first 6,000 years, Africa was ruled by a powerful order of matriarchs. Considering the current status of African women around the world today, one could hardly be convinced that her matriarchal presence and the enormous influence she wielded in the ancient world had far exceeded the limited cultural, geographical, and political designation of which Africa and her religions are confined today. During her reign, Africa's religions had reached very high levels of theological and ritual developments, and were the original spiritual hold of the world's first great oracles, prophetess, and prophets. What is now currently the holy seat of Babylon in Italy was originally the seat of those ancient carbon-based Sibyl mothers. Centuries before Christ, they were known to heal the sick, cure the lameness, the deaf, mute, epileptic, the lepers. They were said to cast out demons and to even raise up the dead. Their prophecies are the oldest and most authentic in the world. Theirs were the basis for the Greeks and Roman tragedies and plays. What was most astonishing, their prophetic books were collected by the Roman authorities who needed a Western theological foundation in order to compete with the powerful Levitical Jews. So although vilified in the end, these Sibyl prophecies soon became sole and undisputed precursors to a Western Christian Bible.